Hi, welcome back to Sport on 7. I'm Tom Bushell. You can get me on Twitter, by the way. At Tom Bushell, UAE is where to find me. Now, not just tennis going on over the last 7 days. Chris McHardy is here again. He was here last week, of course, in the Irish Village, and he's back. And we talk local sports over the last 7 days. Well, so far today, it's almost 2:45 as we film this. I've been up, I've played a tennis tournament this morning, I've had some lunch, I've done some work, and, well, Chris McHardy, it seems, has just got out of bed. Is that correct?
No, Tom, actually. I've been busy myself this morning. I can tell you more on that later as well as the show progresses. But I have been working, I can assure you, this morning.
All right, you certainly have. At the Sport 360 Towers, of course, and talking about sport in the region over the last 7 days. Let's start with Gus Hiddink, the former Chelsea manager, of course. Very recently we had loads of Premier League teams over here, but Gus Hiddink has been over here and possibly could be returning to the Premier League at some point in the future too.
Well, he could indeed, Tom. Gus Hiddink, that is what I have been doing with my morning today. Gus Hiddink, he has been in Dubai, of course, now manager of Russian team Anzi Makhachkala. He has been in Dubai and he's been talking on the situation at Chelsea. Of course, Rafael Benitez, he has been in the news this past week. Gus Hiddink, of course, who was interim boss himself at Stamford Bridge a few years ago, he's opening the door this afternoon to a possible return to Chelsea. Now, of course, the plan was for him to finish up at Anzi at the end of the season. He said he will look to continue now. Of course, Gus Hiddink now in his early 60s, so he has said he enjoyed his time at Chelsea greatly and he is not refusing a return. Now, it was interesting, the question was put to him about Rafael Benitez's future at the club. He refused to be drawn on that, but he said he loved his time greatly at Stamford Bridge and that he will not rule out a return in the future, which is massive for Chelsea fans in the region as well.
Well, possible good news for Chelsea fans very soon, but also Arsenal fans, watch out, and Barcelona too, because Omar Abdurrahman, he's pretty much the highest rated player here in the UAE Pro League. Man City had a look at him not too long ago. Well, there's interest from Europe once again for this amazing player, isn't there?
Well, there is indeed, Tom. It's an interesting story that's just kind of broken over the past few days that Arsenal and Barcelona both said to be looking at Omar Abdurrahman, and as you say, he is the top ranked player in the region. He's been making headlines over the past 12 months. He revealed earlier this week as well that he did turn down a move to Benfica in January. Of course, the Portuguese giants looking to strengthen their name in the region, but it's very interesting as well. Now, we've spoke to Alain. Now, they've said that there has been no representatives from Barcelona or Arsenal, as far as they're aware, at any of the games this season. Now, that doesn't mean to say that there is no interest there. And as we say, Omar Abdurrahman, he has been absolutely sensational over the past 12 months, of course, leading the UAE to Gulf Cup success as well. So keep an eye on this one. Of course, he does play that technical. He is a very technical player. He would fit in greatly with Barcelona and Arsenal style. And as well as that, Hamburg are another team. Of course, I spoke to Frank Arnesen. He was speaking of his admiration for the player. One thing is for certain, Omar Abdurrahman will not be in the UAE much longer, and he will be gracing one of Europe's top elite clubs in the not too distant future.
Absolutely. Well, back at home here in the Pro League, of course, where Omar Abdurrahman plays his football at the moment for Alain. There's lots of Asian Champions League action to look forward to. It really is a busy time for the Pro League clubs, isn't it?
Well, it has indeed, Tom, and we just mentioned Omar Abdurrahman there. He was absolutely sensational in Alain's 3-1 win over Al Hilal in midweek. The only UAE team to win there. Of course, the other teams, Al Jazeera, a bad defeat for them in Iran, 3-1 defeat there. Walter Zenga coming under increasing pressure as well, another defeat for him, and it's really the wheels have come off Al Nasser since, ironically, Sven-Göran Eriksson arrived. The pressure is mounting on Walter Zenga. Don't be surprised to see Eriksson stepping down from technical consultant to be the manager next season. And of course as well, Al Shabaab, a disappointing defeat for them. They have been the form team in the Pro League, 8 wins on the bounce, but a defeat for them against Sepahan in Iran. So really all the good news for UAE Pro League teams has been centred around Alain. Look out for Alain. They are the best hope of UAE getting that title, Asian title again, which of course Alain won in 2003.
Yeah, they're looking strong actually, Alain, as always. Now, one person, well, two people who weren't looking at their best recently are Nike athletes. So many things said about Nike recently. Obviously, Rory McIlroy signing that mega deal, $250 million US over 10 years. And he's actually walked off mid-round after his 9th hole at the Honda Classic. I think he was 7 over or something. Had a terrible time. It was on the same day that another Nike athlete, Roger Federer, was knocked out of the Dubai Tennis Championships as well. For Nike, it wasn't a great week, was it?
It's not been a great week as well. And if you include the defeat, of course, Barcelona, who are their big standard bearers in football, their El Clasico defeat to Real Madrid, a 3-1 defeat at the Nou Camp. So it's not been good times for Nike as well. And Omar Abdurrahman, he seems to have been the theme throughout this show. He recently signed signed a sponsorship deal with Nike. So on the flip side of that, it hasn't been a good week, but the future does look bright with, of course, Omar Abdulrahman key to that, especially in this region for Nike. So not all bad news for Nike this past week.
Great stuff. Well, Chris McHardy, once again, thank you very much for joining us here at the Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships. It has been a brilliant couple of weeks chatting to you, and hopefully you'll maybe get a wash soon.
And a shave as well, Tom.
Of course, don't mean that. Chris, thank you very much. So that's almost it for Sport on 7 this week, but of course we can't go without hearing from the champion of the 2013 Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships. Novak Djokovic has got his 4th win in 5 years here in Dubai, and this is what he had to say after that final.
Serving today was great. Very high percentage of first serves, and over 200 Ks, and I really felt that I could rely on my serve, and in tough moments that part of my game actually helped me to prevail. To be honest, I haven't played as aggressive and maybe as good as I played in yesterday's match or previous matches during this week. But that's also because I had a toughest challenge. Obviously, I had Thomas, who was very aggressive from the start, and feeling confident after a win against Roger. And I backed up, and I was playing from my back foot a bit and giving him too much time to control the points. And that resulted with a breakdown, and then he missed a few easy shots on break points, first and second set, that gave me the victory basically. But I felt when I came from breakdown that I started believing in myself a little bit more. But look, I hang in there, I stayed tough, and that's the important thing.
Well, there we go. It's been 2 brilliant weeks, of course, for the Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships. It all started with the WTA week and then the ATP 500 event for the men as well. Looking forward to next year already, but before that, there's plenty of sport, and Sport on 7 will be back next week, of course. Until then, I'm Tom Bushell. Goodbye.